During its short time on the market and poor sales, the Wii U was a rather special and unique console that actually had a damn great list of exclusive titles to its name, but that list has dramatically reduced since the launch of its successor, the Switch, with most of the titles making the switch to Switch. With only a handful of titles left needing a port, easily one of the most unique titles and special games for the Wii U was an exclusive from Action Game Masters Platinum Games, the wonderful 101. But with pretty awful sales, a port seemed very unlikely, but now thanks to a successful Kickstarter, the game's getting another chance of success with a much welcome remaster. So let's see how they did, shall we? The Wonderful 101 plays a lot of tribute to old style sort of classic superhero comics, the Power Rangers and the Sentais, with a joyfully daft tale of normal everyday people who are actually members of the Wonderful 101 as they take on an evil alien race known as the Geth Jerks. Suffice to say, the game's tale is absolutely daft and played mostly for laughs. And yes, the game characters are charming and are well written with a very witty script that really makes the story a joy to watch play out. But where the game truly stands out is in the gameplay department. Coming from Platinum Games, you know you're in for a treat, and the Wonderful 101 doesn't disappoint, as it's easily up there with Vanquish as one of their most unique titles. Feeling a bit of a mix of Pikmin and the action chaos of the games Platinum Games are known for, you go through the game's many different levels, playing as one of the members of the Wonderful 101. Each member has their own weapon like a sword, a gun, a fist, but to change weapons you have to draw the weapon, so a line for a sword, an L shape for a gun, and a circle for a fist. But playing as the character on their own, your weapon won't be powerful enough to defeat the many enemies you'll have to face, so you have to recruit civilians to make them temporary members of the Wonderful 101. And with these civilians' help, your attacks will be much more powerful, a bit similar to Pikmin. You find civilians all over the place throughout the level, and all you do is simply draw a circle around them and boom, they're recruited. It's that easy. Getting into combat is an absolute blast. You come up against a whole host of brilliantly designed enemies. You can swap between weapons on the fly and mix up your weapons to make some cool combos. You can also deflect enemies' attacks with your Unite Guts move, which unites all the members up into like a jelly-like mold and reflects any range attacks back at them. Or you can use the Wonder Spring to dodge out the way. Dodge at the last minute to activate this game's version of Witch Time, which slows down time to a snail's pace, allowing you to do extra damage. Your weapons don't just have their uses in combat, you know, as they're very handy in exploration, as there's plenty of puzzles and hidden areas that you have to use your arsenal to gain access to. One of the biggest selling points of the Wii U was its dual screen display with the gamepad, and whilst many games didn't bother using it, only really using it as a display of a mini-map or a mirror image of what was on the TV screen, the Wonderful 101 was one of the few games to make good uses of the gamepad. With the obvious touchscreen controls, there was also sections where the action took place entirely on the gamepad. And for this remastered edition, they've got these sections working on the Switch with several different display options, and whilst they do work, nothing really beats playing these sections how they were meant to play on the Wii U. That being said, back in the day on the Wii U, the game was a bit awkward to control when it came to drawing the shapes. I used to draw the shapes on the Wii U gamepad, and it wasn't until recently I knew you could actually use the analog stick. But anyway, pulling off drawing these shapes on the Switch feels much better this time around, though there can be a few off moments when the game won't register your shapes, but it's few and far between and nowhere near as unreliable as it was on the Wii U. Presentation wise, the game was a pretty decent looking title on the Wii U, showing off some lovely bright colours and some brilliant looking environments, but the game did suffer from a pretty uneven frame rate that did spoil the experience a bit. Onto this remastered version now, and like all remasters these days, it gets the good old 1080p 60fps treatment. That does make the game look much more clearer, and with the great art style, the game still looks great today. Onto the frame rate now, and as I said, it's been boosted up to 60 FPS, and on the PS4 and PS4 Pro the game sticks to it without a drop in sight. But onto the Switch now, and the game really does suffer, with quite a few drops in both handheld and dock play, which is a shame considering the Wii U version had the same problem. Hopefully a patch will come out and improve this, but we'll have to wait and see. Conclusion time now, and after all these years, there's been nothing quite like the wonderful 101, and with this remastered version, the game finally gets a second chance to get the love it truly deserves. Whilst it's a modest remaster that just gives a typical 1080p and 60 FPS job, it does make for a much improved experience. As for the combat, it's still a blast with many fun and explosive moments, and some fabulous boss battles. There is still a few issues with the drawing mechanics, and it may be a bit too hard for some, but it's an utter blast, so that's why I'm giving the wonderful 101 Remastered an 8 out of 10 with the title of great. And I please urge you to buy this game so this game can finally get a sequel it truly deserves. As always, thank you for watching my review, like, rate and subscribe, and until next time, happy gaming, bye.